So I have PCOS and I feel like my body has been fighting against me. I've dealt with chin hairs, intense cravings, cycles that last forever, and stubborn weight that just won't go off. But one thing that's really helped me is trying to balance my testosterone naturally. And I'm gonna share that with you today. I remember the first time doctors told me I had high testosterone. I was 21 at the time, so about like 10 to 12 years ago, and they didn't tell me to do anything. They just said, hey, just so you know, you have high testosterone, which may make it hard to have kids. And that was it. They gave me no advice whatsoever. So I dealt with years and years of unbalanced hormones. Doctors didn't help me. I had to figure it out all on my own. So that's when I kind of did my own digging to try to figure out like what I could do for myself and help my own health, because I had these symptoms and I didn't want them anymore. I was so sick of spending 10 years having these symptoms that weren't helping me at all. There have been so many things that I've tried over the years: lifestyle change, diet changes. I've gone gluten and dairy free. I've done peppermint tea. I've done myo-inositol, exercise changes, all these things to try to help get me on the path to better hormone health. A lot of people with PCOS hear high testosterone or high androgen levels. But what is it and why is it doing what it's doing? I'll try to break it down simply. But this is quite complicated of a thing. I'm just trying to break it down simply so you get to know why I'm doing what I'm doing. Insulin resistance is one of the other driving factors for PCOS. When your body doesn't respond well to insulin, it just produces more of it. Aren't we lucky? Don't they say more is better? Not in this case. And high insulin levels tell your ovaries to produce more testosterone. What a great feedback loop. If you needed it, but we don't need it. This is one of the biggest drivers for symptoms like acne, hair growth where you don't want it, and missing periods. Another driving factor for PCOS is inflammation. So I'm sure you've heard so many things about reducing your stress with PCOS, which is so much easier said than done. PCOS is linked to chronic low-grade inflammation, which can throw your hormones off balance, especially testosterone. It's like your body is always on edge, and the high stress just produces chaos. And speaking about stress, one of the other driving factors for PCOS is adrenal stress, so cortisol imbalance. Your body can also make testosterone from your adrenal glands, not just your ovaries. And so if your body is constantly stressed, it will just favor making more testosterone, which again is just another feedback loop that's just spiraling out of control. So that whole just relax and everything will be okay isn't totally wrong, but it is just so much harder to do when your hormones are so out of balance. That's what makes PCOS so hard, is there's so many differing driving factors. So you have to take an approach that is all around, because you can't just focus on one thing. It won't fix the whole thing. So I'm still in the process of all of this, and some things take a while to figure out if they work, and some things are really quick. So I'll just tell you kind of how it's going. It's been about like 2 months since I've started this, and I do feel some changes. I have never, okay, I shouldn't say never. I don't remember my cycles when I was a kid. Who tracks their period cycles when they're a teenager? I know I didn't. I probably will make my daughter, but I didn't when I was younger. None of these are overnight fixes. My body has been out of whack for who knows how long, 10 plus years. So it's gonna take some time to get it all regulated again. Number 1, I'm going to drink spearmint tea 2 times a day. This spearmint tea specifically helps lower testosterone. That is the one thing that has been studied more. I used to drink peppermint tea because when some of the research I'd read just said mint tea, so I'd always go to peppermint, but I feel like I've seen a big difference with spearmint tea specifically. Studies show that it can lower testosterone and reduce hirsutism. Chin hair. Let's just go with easier words. I think I'm saying it right. I don't really know. It always feels like a calming ritual whenever I drink it, so I am gonna keep this for the long term. I love it. Number 2, I have switched to taking berberine. Berberine is a compound found in plants, and it's like the natural metformin, which I know a lot of doctors give to people with PCOS. So if you don't want to take metformin, maybe look into berberine and talk to your doctor to see if it worked better for you. Why it helps: it improves insulin and lowers androgen. Berberine has made the biggest changes in the shortest amount of time. Because, 1, I am dreaming now again. I've never dreamt what it feels like in the last 10 years, but now I'm dreaming again and I remember my dreams. And I'm sure it's because my sugar levels are way more stable at night, so my body isn't like waking up. It's crazy to me. Crazy dreams. The first week I took berberine, the craziest, weirdest, maybe creepiest dreams I've had in a while. So be aware, if you start taking berberine, I would be so curious if you guys notice that you dream more. Also, my cravings have essentially almost gone away. I didn't know what it felt like to not have cravings until I started taking berberine, and I am amazed. I don't always think about food anymore, and I didn't know any difference until now. Like, I'm sure that was just my PCOS talking to me, but I had no idea. I just thought I was always hungry. Number 3. So this is one that I have done for quite some time. When I first started my weight loss journey, I eat way better than I used to. I try to balance my insulin levels with how I eat. So that is always pairing a carb and a protein together. So don't have a super carb heavy meal and don't have a super protein heavy meal. You kind of want to mix the both because it helps with leveling out sugar levels. So essentially it's like less blood sugar spikes equals less insulin, which equals less testosterone production, which equals better hormone health. I will say I did wear a glucose monitor for about 2 weeks and it was so informative. I suggest talk to your doctor and see if you can get one because it was so helpful knowing how my body was responding to stuff. Okay, number 4. Movement and stress management. So I will say when I started my health journey, like I said before, probably 8 years ago, I started moving more and I haven't stopped. So this is kind of something that I have kept and I feel like it's helped so much. The biggest things I focus on is walking daily, strength training, so important, and kind of stress reducing movement like yoga and Pilates on days where I am not feeling it. I would rather move than not move at all. Exercise helps with so many things in the body, but specifically for PCOS, it helps. It supports insulin, lowers cortisol, and helps regulate hormones. I will say when I stopped overdoing it at the gym, I actually felt way more energized and I had way more energy. Number 5, sleep. Why it matters: if you don't get enough sleep, you're just gonna have more cortisol and more stress in your life, and that we wanna try to lower. So if you can control your sleep, make sure you get at least 8 hours a night. To be honest, I'm still working on this one. I usually get like 7 hours a night. I will say things that I have tried that are super overhyped in the PCOS world that didn't work for me: cutting out gluten and dairy. I eat gluten every day, I eat dairy every day, and I haven't seen a difference between when I cut it out versus now. But everyone's so different, everybody's so different. But I'm just telling you, if you love gluten and you love cheese, you don't have to take it out. It's okay, you can eat it. Results so far: never in my life have I had a shorter period or just like a normal cycle within 30 days. I'm used to like 75 days to 100 days between each cycle. And the last 2 cycles have been 37 days and then like 31 days, which hasn't happened in like 10 years. So that I'm doing this naturally is making me feel so much better by just adding these few things into my life. I told you about my less cravings with berberine. That is so helpful to keeping my eating under under control and helping my insulin levels, because usually when your insulin levels are out of whack, you crave sugary sweet carbs. So this is not an overnight fix. I am not perfect, but I will say this is the most I felt in tune with my body in years. I feel like I'm understanding it more, which has been really helpful. And I can see cues and feel cues that maybe my hormones are off, or I just understand it more, which is really, really cool. If you're dealing with high testosterone and PCOS, I would love to know what's helped you or what hasn't helped you at all. Drop a comment below, and if this has been helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe,